our first racing driver in the makeshift studio here with us, and a big welcome back. So happy to see you again. Franco COLAPINTO, welcome back to Formula One. And look, I know it was a tricky day yesterday, of course, and it looked a tricky race out there, but just talk us through it. Talk us through how it felt for you, getting back behind the wheel of the car, doing a start, implementing some stints. What was it like?
It was good. It was very exciting to start the weekend back with the team, with Alpine. Of course, new car, new engineers, new people, but they have been all very supportive. They have been very helpful to get me used to the car quick, get me understand the tools, the tires. The tires have been very soft this weekend. It was not the ideal weekend to get in, but I think overall it was a decent weekend. I was doing a lot of steps, lap after lap, session after session, and by the end I was getting closer, especially in performance. I couldn't do much of high fuel running before the race. Of course, it was a pity yesterday in quali. The margins are very tight, and just going to the limit of it, and sometimes just those little mistakes when you don't quite know the limit of the car yet. But today in the race was very positive. I made the mediums last very long. I think it was one of the longest stints, which was a bit surprising. And we were on a one stop to the end with the hards. Just after a couple of laps I put the hards, the VSC came out and it killed my race kind of. So I think since then it was a bit more tricky, but very good pace in the car. Good pace, especially for the first half of the race, and then bit unlucky with the strategy. But overall, a good weekend, good learnings, and good data for the team.
Ruth?
Yeah, I thought you did a really good job resetting after yesterday. I particularly like that you said thank you to the guys in the garage. I know Ryan, your number one mechanic, already said that was lovely. For the strategy, as you say, did the team ever consider starting on that hard tyre? Because you did such a good job with the tyre management, you potentially could have got it all the way to the safety car.
Yeah, I think so. I think would have been maybe a bit better if we would have started on the hard. But I think, with the news after the race, it's a bit more easy to decide. But the kind of a bit more safe plan for me to finish the race, to get all the learnings, and the points look very far away. So I think we kind of try to maximize the learnings, and not only the position, but also the information we were getting, the learning I was having. And it was a good day in the car. Of course, not the result we were hoping for me or for Pierre, but it's always a bit more tricky to stay there in the race for us.
Davide?
Probably today not the best version of Alpine in the race pace. Also, Gasly was struggling a bit today, we need to admit it. But I think you are going to have some truck in the future that are going to suit your car very well, and you are going to be able to shine like you did last year. Because one thing that you don't miss is the speed immediately as soon as you go into the car. You feel that you can do it or no?
I feel like I can do it. Yesterday was a bit too much speed, maybe. But the guys in the garage did a mega job putting the car back together for today. It was a lot of work, a bit of extra warm-up for Sunday morning, and yeah, they just have been amazing all weekend. Good in the pit stops, and very supportive all weekend round. So I think better trucks are coming for us, especially Monaco. It's gonna be, I think, better. Still a very high confidence track, and I'm not there quite yet, but yeah, still gonna keep learning the car, and probably by quali I'm gonna be a bit more comfortable.
Well, Franco, you say the confidence you're hoping to build. You haven't got long till Monaco, and you're in a really intense triple header. But I guess that's the best way for that confidence to build. So yes, you're back in Formula One now. So what are the next steps for you mentally, physically? How are you physically feeling also from?
Good, pretty. Quite impressive that I've been decent.
You've been training hard then.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Good.
I mean, I can now I can lie a little bit maybe, but I think it's been a good race. Also for the physical part, I have been getting more used to the car every session after session, and the physic feels. I think tomorrow I'm gonna be very sore. It's gonna hurt a bit the body. That's normal. Luckily, sometimes to get back the body together as well as the car for Monaco. But after Monaco, I'm sure the confidence. Tracks are not gonna get more tricky than that, so it's gonna all be easier after Monaco.
Oh, great stuff. Well, it's wonderful to see you back in Formula One. Thanks, Franco, as ever, for coming on our show as well. We always enjoy having you.
First driver to come in.
You were our first one.
At least I won there.
P1 for you. Thank you, Franco. Gracias. Thank you so much. Great to see him back. And also great for him to come in. Look, it's not been obviously the race he'd have wanted, but he'll have got a lot of learning done out there, won't he, Ruth?
Yeah, I have to say, I think I'm really impressed. Obviously someone's had a word with him, or, his management team's had a word with him since yesterday. That's a completely different Franco than the Franco yesterday that was pushing 105%, round that corner that caused the accident. Today's Franco was calm, cool, collected, and that Alpine just didn't have the race pace. We saw even on Pierre's car on high fuel in Friday, it was really quick over one time lap, and I think, I have to say, I'm excited to see what he can do in Monaco. And he's already won this race once in junior Formula. You don't have to win it all the time.
I'm sure he'd have liked to win it in Formula One, though, wouldn't he?
True, good point.
But look, he's already playing the team game as well. At one point, he was let through. He let Pierre Gasly through, and as you mentioned, on a track where track position was key, they had the one lap stuff dialed down, but obviously the race just unfolded in a way where we saw 2, even 3 stops out there.